This is TV47 Breakfast with me, Fred Indimuli. I'm still here with my panelists this morning, young Kenyan politicians discussing the biggest headlines. We took quite some time discussing the fuel prices because indeed that's a big problem today. Sure. I want us to take a brief moment and look at the by-elections that happened yesterday, Emurua Dikirr. 65% turnout, which is impressive by any standard for a by-election. And that's where we start. This discussion. Of course, UDA has taken all three contests that were there yesterday. The parliamentary one in Emurua Dikirr, county assembly contests in Samburu and in Elgeyo Marakwet. Definitely a win for UDA. But the question is, because we're also anticipating the contest in Olkalau, that more and more these contests in the by-elections appear to have very little to do with the constituencies and everything to do with the national contests. Do you believe that by-elections at this stage do not serve the constituents, but they serve the party leaders at the national level?
I think I must say that I'm very happy this morning. It's important to mention that I'm vying for their parliamentary seat under the DCP ticket. And for me, I'm excited because we might not have won in Emurua Dikirr, but you know, getting to get 10,000 votes in a UDA stronghold region out of about 38 votes cast. I think that's a big plus for us as DCP. And what you've said is true. I think by-elections, by and large, do not really serve the constituency. It's about indicator of how the next general election could look like. It's about, you know, flexing the muscle also for parties and for party leaders. And that is why, you know, we saw UDA going all out. In Emurua Dikirr, DCP also, we tried our best, and I'm excited because what they're telling us is they're shaping the conversation and giving us an indicator of how 2027 would look like in terms of voter turnout, in terms of the real issues that have been, you know, discussed during the campaigns. It's about jobs, it's about opportunities, it's about, you know, trade and so on and so forth. So I think it's good. It is also pointing out to, you know, the coming up and the rising of new political formations, new parties, new coalitions, which is something that we must not undermine. 2027 elections will not just be about singular parties, will be about coalitions. And will be an opportunity for young, competent leaders to also come up. And that is why we are having the conversation about Gen Zs. What we must understand is that Gen Z is now not just a voting bloc, but also a leadership bloc. If you look at all the people, the leaders who are contesting for these different seats, they are not just your ordinary, traditional, old men and women, experienced politicians. They are new chaps coming up, and that is an indicator of how 2027 will be.
And this 60% voter turnout means that a good percentage of the younger voter also turned up.
Absolutely, but we might need to check the statistics. What we're also gathering is that the Gen Zs are not activated enough. They're not coming out to vote. All right.
And probably they've not even been activated because the new register is yet to be gazetted.
Yes, correct. Because so this is the 2022.
People are still not eligible to vote at this time.
Correct.
But even the older voters, the people on the register up to 2022, 65% turnout means that quite a number of the younger voters came out to vote in a by-election.
Which is impressive, which is impressive. But again, when you have everybody now concentrating on a particular constituency, you know, and all the flexing of the masses, political masses, then the voter turnout should be, that is a good average.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alionya, even as we consider the kind of questions I've asked him about younger voters turning out, there's also the question of the kind of parties that were there. Because if at all this is a contest for 2022, it's an opportunity, for 2027, it's an opportunity for even parties to flex their muscles. It did not escape our notice that ODM, which had previously a strong position in areas like Narok and Kajiado, was not on the list of contenders in Emurua Dikirr, and allowing a party like DCP, which is not even a year old, to get 10,000 votes in such a constituency. Remember, Yohana Ngeno even at one point tried to vie on an ODM ticket there. So where is ODM?
ODM is there, ODM is bigger. I think I saw statistics yesterday saying that ODM is still the most popular political party.
Where?
But as in this country...
No, I'm asking specifically about that region where it used to be quite popular.
But this morning, my brother has said the importance of coalitions. So if Emurua Dikirr was an UDA zone, so probably we would have said,
So we come back to the issue of zoning.
Let us.
Was that one instant of zoning?
I don't want to speak on behalf of my party leaders, but I think probably they looked at the situation and also how the constituencies received the UDA candidate, and they were like, let us allow our brothers to take this. But let me say this, Fred, winners celebrate, losers explain. So you explaining to us that you have won with 10,000, that is just explanation. There has been one winner. But I want to, when I was coming here this morning, I tried to look at the history of this David Gitonga, and I want to use it as a motivation to my fellow Gen Zs, because some of us, once you go to an interview and the HR has talked to you badly, you leave the interview, you don't want to continue. If you have done something and you see it is not going the way you wanted, you leave it. Now, this candidate first contested in 2013 general election, and this candidate contested on a URP ticket and garnered 7,000 votes. He did not give up. He actually came second. In 2017, he contested again and got 13,707 votes on a Jubilee ticket. He came in second as well. In 2022 general election, he contested against the late MP, and he garnered 14,596 votes in that general election. He did not give up, and today he was elected with 18,266. So it is a challenge to my fellow young people. This is someone who tried contesting thrice. He has won on the 4th attempt. So I am personally proud of the individual that the UDA person picked, the UDA party picked. And I am sending a message to people of DCP, and my brother is here. In 2027, you are likely to also explain more, regardless of the margin of how much you lose or the margin of how much you get from the winner. But in politics, explanation, and I come from a political party where we have been explaining for I think 5 times. So in politics, the winner will always take it all. So we don't really care about the 10,000. And one thing Kenyans need to identify is, if you look at even the by-election in Kakamega, there's someone who won with the DCP ticket. But it was very difficult for even the DCP party leader to come there and celebrate the win. It might also be difficult for the DCP candidate right now to even visit the Emurua Dikirr, clearly showing that in as much as Kenyans might have received the DCP party, they have not received the DCP party leader. That's why in most of these by-elections in other regions that are not central, he never visits to campaign for the candidate. So it is, I don't know, probably it is the packaging of himself. He needs to ask himself, why is it that probably your party, people might relate with it depending with the candidate who is contesting on it, but they don't really accept you as the party leader.
Right.
Okay, let me if you allow me.
Briefly, very briefly.
I'm a political scientist.